Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to episode 386. We've got a lot to talk about tonight, so we'll get into it. Bitcoin had a crazy God candle today, and it hit right at 70,000. We went up about 4 or 5% and managed to tap exactly 70,084. Not too bad. Did we break it fully? I wouldn't really say we did, but it's a start in the right direction, as expected. Good for the price movement of Bitcoin. I'm glad to see it starting to make some good moves toward the upside. Uptrend is confirmed. In the middle of a war, if you can believe that. Like I said, the worst of the worst has technically already passed. How can this get any worse? Maybe other countries getting involved? Sure, I will concede to that, but I don't believe that it is likely. China, Russia, they're not helping Iran in the least bit. They're just saying, oh, we condemn the attacks. Please stop attacking. Go back to negotiating, you darn kids. And it seems like nothing is being done on their part to prevent the war from happening or helping their buddy Iran to survive this war. I mean, what's done is done. The decapitation strikes, successful. We've taken out a lot of the leaders, some of them even coming back from the dead, if you can believe that or not, which we'll be getting into. Yeah, it's getting pretty crazy. So, we'll be discussing all of that later on. We'll also be talking about the American soldiers that have fallen. The death toll rises. We're starting to catch some heat from these Iranian missiles. It's starting to prove to be a little too much because I mentioned this yesterday. They're like headless chickens. They're just relentlessly attacking whatever they can, desperately, because they realize that their big boys are gone. What are you going to do? Well, whatever, just launch whatever we have. There's going to be a regime change anyway, and they better not find any missiles by the time they take over our government, right? Surely that's what they're saying. I don't know, maybe, right? So that's the way I perceive it, is just that these are desperation, launch everything at everyone as fast as possible type strike, and then go to the table to negotiate as a form of vengeance, because believe it or not, there are actually a lot of Iranians that still support the IRGC. I know some of the people, which is crazy. I mean, I don't blame them. Do I blame them? I don't know. Look, I opine nothing about that. I'm not a Muslim. Don't care, didn't ask, move on. Right? But if you are, you know what, whatever. You support whatever you support. I'm not going to change your mind. It's fine. So, as of right now, after tapping 70,000 for Bitcoin, we've decreased our price a little bit. Slight decay after a crazy good candle, like I said. Price is currently 68,577. Okay. Where do we go from here? I still think up. I still think we have momentum to continue higher. I don't think we're gonna... I don't know. This move was a bit unexpected. For whatever reason, we just decided to make a big move like this. People are saying it's the ISM manufacturing data, and that has something related to do with liquidity and alt season. Sure. There's also these talks about the Supreme Court tariffs, which we'll be getting into as well. The fact that they declined Trump's request to extend something. Here it is. I'll just leak the news immediately. U.S. court rejected the Trump administration's effort to delay tariff refund cases, which means that we're going to have to refund these tariffs probably soon. Although I don't even know what's going on here. Didn't we find a workaround and we don't have to refund the tariffs? Some companies are still suing the US government nonetheless, because they're leeches. I mean, it's free money. I wouldn't blame you anyway. But what does the US government have to do to return this money to them? Print, inflation, liquidity, right? That's kind of what makes sense. So that's what it seems to be happening for... part of the reason why we rose over here. You know what? Sure. Also, just the fact that it looks like we are winning the war, so that just makes us feel a bit more optimistic. The fact that we can end this sooner, it doesn't have to be prolonged. That's not good if it does get prolonged to the lengths of Russia-Ukraine type war. We don't want that to happen. We just want to be quick in and out, which seems like we could leave it at that and, you know, move on. But no, we're going to keep striking whoever becomes the next leader of Iran, and if the person is still pro-IRGC, then we're just going to bomb them again, like we did with the last leader. But we'll be talking about all of that later. Okay, great. Let's move on to Ethereum 2007. Nice. We hit a high of 2088. Newer high, kind of. Still uptrend nonetheless. Looks great. Staying above 2000. Lovely. Resistance level, first one is 2125. That's what I would look for on Ethereum. Other than that, we just have resistance levels. There's really no downtrend line itself, unless you're zooming way far out. But I expect this one to be an issue in the upcoming 2 weeks or more. Not for the time being. So my viewpoint of all of these is still toward the upside, especially if Bitcoin can just, continue rising above 70,000. Eventually it should slow down at around 80,000 in the next week or two. That's what I believe. And then, we'll start seeing a bit of a slowdown. This is purely just off price action, and it's all, even the fundamentals, are playing along with it very nice. So I like to see that. Good. Solana, $85.36, hitting a high of 90 today. I told you, the $90 is the 70,000 equivalent to Bitcoin, to Solana. You know what I mean. So we hit that level today. Highest was $90.27, and we have since then rebounded off of that, where we are right now, 85. Coinciding more or less with this downtrend line, although I don't think I would pay too much attention to it. I'd first pay attention to $100, but I still think Solana can break above $100, while Bitcoin is still advancing toward 80,000, right? When we do see Bitcoin 80,000, I think Solana will be a bit higher than $100, about maybe 108 seems okay. Maybe more, or maybe not, I don't know. If the volatility will be there to accompany it, but 100 for sure. That's what I expect for Solana if Bitcoin approaches 80,000. Okay, moving on. Hyperliquid, $32.91. We did indeed continue rising to $33.68 was our highest. I was expecting 34, close enough. We'll give it a pass. And still green candles in the past recent hours, as opposed to the other assets showing red candles in the past couple hours. Staying above 30 will always be great. Uptrend for now invalidates at 26. Can I draw one? I technically can. I think I will. I must. From where though? Something like this makes sense. How about from here? Also looks okay. How about from here? Also looks okay. I think I'm gonna stick with that one. Yeah, looks good. Like I said, uptrend invalidates at 26.44, looking great. I expect a bit of a slowdown. We would be overbought, but I don't know. Sometimes Hyperliquid loves to surprise. If it does, we'll see 36.50. And then 40. I think we'll be, I don't know. If I'm expecting momentum to continue toward the upside, I think Hyperliquid will continue to do well. We might actually see a crazy rally on Hyperliquid as well. I mentioned it before, due to tokenized assets on there, commodities especially, gold, silver, on the rise, especially in times of war. I don't know why Bitcoin is rising. That's just contrary to popular belief what should be happening. But nonetheless, I'm not complaining, so let's let it do its thing. Why is Sui not above $1 yet? Crazy. What is this rise? 5%? That's pretty miserable for an asset like Sui. To, if Bitcoin rises 4%, this thing only rises 5%. Should be at least double or triple the 4% rise of Bitcoin. But the movement isn't still there. From what I see then is that people are not really pushing for alts, at least not the riskier ones. People are still would rather play it safe is what it seems like. We still do gotta see Ethereum start performing well, especially against Bitcoin. Then we could start seeing more of the alts follow through as well. Hyperliquid being the only exception due to its DEX nature. But yeah. Uptrend still nonetheless. Resistance is $1 for the time being. Our highest today was 96. We can do it. Come on. Don't be shy. Do your thing. But when that FOMO truly hits, you will see Sui make a tremendous God candle. Don't know when that's going to happen though. Better to be in it early or, what really is the risk? Sui at 90 cents? Come on. 91 cents. Litecoin, on the other hand, Also not a big move today. Pretty miserable 3% candle amidst the great rise. This one was great though. 8%. This happened on 25th of February. That was pretty awesome. Current price is 54. I still think we can hit 58. No big deal. And uptrend is in our favor and validates at 56.7. Lovely. Bit tensor, also on the rise. No, well, we hit a new high at least. 195. I was expecting 200 to mainly be our resistance. Although 191 is currently the one that's in our way. Current price is 182. Still looking strong. I like where the tensor is moving. Hi Greg, Crypto, good evening. How are you? Chainlink, $8.85. Starting to make some bigger moves as well. $9.26. Invalidates its uptrend at 8.15. Resistance I expect at 9.50. And then $10. $10 before we start seeing some major resistance for Chainlink. So we got some room to rise. Absolutely doable. Hedera, kind of staying in its range. Also had a premature rise. So doesn't surprise me that we're kind of delaying the move a little bit. Current price is 0.9677. Yeah. As long as we stay above 0.9306, we're good. Still looks okay for Hedera. That doesn't worry me as much. Monero, still kind of following the drawing that I made, which is great. Just lateralizing here around 341, no big deal. I do expect a great move toward the upside as well, eventually, to happen. We shall see. As long as we stay above 307, we are good. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Yeah. How have ETFs been? I didn't get to add that website. Who was it? CoinAnk? CoinGlass? ETF? Come on, crypto. ETF inflows, outflows. That's what I looked up. Yeah, it was on CoinGlass. Why don't you let me save this? It's my downloads, it's my extensions. Alright, that's not what I wanted. Can I just like manually add one? Add to speed dial. This. Enter. There we go. There we go. Okay, manually had to add it, but whatever. Priced in US dollars. We had Fidelity, Inflow, ARC, Bitwise. I think this is Bitwise. No report yet from BlackRock. They always report at midnight, so we never get to see those numbers until the next day. In total, so far, $195 million worth of inflows. Weak, but it's a start, so that's fine. How is Ethereum? Oh, that was weird. 12 million inflow today. Solana ETF inflows. What do we got? 16 million. That's also a start. And XRP, I've not followed XRP ETFs at all, especially because of Farside's hatred for XRP for whatever reason, but whatever. We're no longer using them. The light theme sucks. The ads suck. So I'm just sticking to whatever this is. $1 billion inflow? Is that real? I'm looking at US dollars, yeah. When did this happen? Oh no, this is just for a time period. Okay, you had me nervous for a second. Why are they inflowing billions of dollars into XRP on February 17 of all days? No, it's a range since November 14th, ever since its inception. Okay, overall inflows for a lot of these. For Bitcoin, I'm assuming the number must be enormous. 54 billion. That's amongst the sell-offs as well, right? So we're kind of back to neutral, but 50 billion inflow, still not too bad. This is the power of the ETFs. But with that comes also the consequence of sell-offs in cases of uncertainty for geopolitical events. But like I said, for whatever reason, this Iran war didn't seem to have impacted Bitcoin's price negatively. Mainly, I would say because it's been priced in. I've been saying that for a while. It's been priced in 2 months of us having this fear and just constant downtrend. We're still making history on Bitcoin, by the way. We've closed another red month last month, February, which is like the 4th consecutive red month or something like that, or maybe 5th. I have a chart. I have a post talking about it, so we'll have a look at that later. Yeah, I don't know. Seems crazy. But okay, we'll get into our news section now. Let's go ahead and do a recap of what has been going on. First of all, the savagery. This is insane. May Allah protect him. You get a community note saying Allah didn't protect him. Wow. Burned. But okay. Ayatollah Khamenei. His wife, Mansoureh Khojaste Bagherzadeh, the wife of the late Supreme Leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei, has died from her injuries as well. So it's him, the wife, the son-in-law, daughter-in-law, I don't know, second or third cousins, kids, grandkids. A lot of people died. They've just bombed his whole family or something. And then the next man up, who replaced Ayatollah's position, whatever his name was, didn't even last 6 hours in power. Must be the quickest reign of all time or something. So what is the response from Iran so far? Well, Trump said that Iran's interim leadership has sought talks following the death of Khamenei and confirmed he agreed to talks. But we thought that they refused, especially because, I don't know, they're literally just still launching missiles at each other. Trump's claimed that Iran's interim leadership sought talks post-Khamenei death. For his March 1st Atlantic interview, they want to talk and I have agreed. Iran's top security official, Ali Larijani, denies this outright, stating that we will not negotiate with the US and refuting any outreach claims. Reports conflict amid the strikes. Now, I also wanted to check, did we have these talks today in between, what was his name? The foreign minister. Did Iran... Foreign minister. Did I spell foreign wrong? Have talks today in Vienna. Nope. It was scheduled for today in Vienna, but recent US-Israeli strikes on Iran have disrupted the plans. Omani's foreign minister noted regret that they cannot proceed as agreed. Interesting. Iran's foreign minister Araghchi is not reported in Vienna today. He commented on prior Geneva talks and recent strikes. So the talks have been delayed. They're stopping for now. We're literally just in an all-out war. I didn't really expect it to happen. They never said formally that it would be cancelled. We were checking even yesterday. That still seemed like the talks would happen today. But I guess they ended up like being like, no, we're not going to talk anymore because war. Okay, sure. Trump has commented a lot more ever since. He trashed the fake news who claims he will get bored with Iran and abandon the mission. Trump said, someone actually said from the media, I think he'll get bored after a week or two. No, we don't get bored. I never get bored. If I got bored, I wouldn't be standing here right now. I guarantee you that to go through what I had to go through. I guarantee you that, sorry. To go through what I had to go through. We also projected 4 weeks to terminate the military leadership, and as you know, that was done in about an hour. Yeah, literally, so end the war, please. Just move on. I really want this whole subject to just end, but it seems like it's going to drag out forever. I don't know. He keeps reiterating the 4 weeks narrative. Whatever. As long as it actually is 4 weeks, fine, we'll tolerate it. Bitcoin doesn't seem to even be taking a hit. And it seems to be good for whatever reason, so let's go. Trump Medal of Honor ceremony remarks. He said that the U.S. continues to carry out large-scale combat operations on Iran. The Iran regime had missiles capable of hitting Europe. Whoa. He refused to cease its pursuit of nuclear weapons, would have soon possessed missiles capable of reaching America. And that is what some of the American officials are going with. Yep, they were really close to also being a threat to America, quite literally. It's no longer just in the bases, but to the actual homeland. And that's an issue, and that's why we were doing these preventative strikes. Sure. More stuff. Substantially ahead of our time projections on Iran. We will easily prevail. Projected 4 to 5 weeks, and there's capability to go far longer. That's not a comment that I'd like to hear, but okay. The purpose of the operation is the demilitarization of Iran, destroying Iran's missile capabilities and ensuring that Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon. We shall see. All right. What else has been going on so far? All of these are headlines. I don't want to individually go through a post of each thing, so it's good to have them all condensed in this post. Hezbollah from Lebanon joined the conflict, which we talked about yesterday. They're launching rockets into northern Israel. The IDF responded with airstrikes threatening to send ground forces into southern Lebanon. A U.S. F-15E fighter jet was shot down over Kuwait in a friendly fire incident. The pilot managed to eject and was returned to U.S. forces. I have another special post about that one when we talk about the U.S. personnel. Trump did announce that 3 U.S. service personnel had been killed in the conflict so far, saying that 3 is 3 too many as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it is. Spoiler alert, the death toll has risen since then, which, like I said, I have more posts talking about it. We'll get into that. The United Nations nuclear watchdog chief Rafael Grossi says no evidence of damage to Iran's nuclear sites from recent strikes based on satellite monitoring and on-site data. The French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot said France fully supports countries deliberately targeted by Iran and dragged into an unwanted war, and stands ready to help defend them. Let's not forget that they literally surrendered day 1, but okay. I don't know if that was a meme. I don't know why I saw it all over my timeline. France is surrendering day 1. Okay. Weird. US B-2 stealth bombers flew over Iran again. That's when the sky starts missing pixels, you know? This time targeting underground ballistic missile infrastructure. Saudi Arabia intercepted and destroyed 2 Iranian drones targeting the Ras Tanura refinery, causing minor shrapnel damage and precautionary shutdowns with no casualties and no impact on oil supplies. Oil is just... Is it even going crazy anymore? But there's a lot of talks about energy and oil from this whole war stuff. We're still up overall. So we kind of recovered lost territory ever since, you know, our initial gap toward the upside. Sudden spike down to 69, I remember that. And then we recovered. Crude oil's price is currently at 71.88. Okay, Israel is planning to gradually reopen its civilian airspace starting this evening, with flights resuming based on ongoing situational assessments. Don't you think that's a little too risky? But okay. Iran's Red Crescent claims that there have been 555 deaths since the war began across 24 provinces, straining emergency services. That's crazy how they have 24 provinces. Canada is the second largest in the world and we only have 10, plus 3 territories. So technically 13. And the Gulf states have collectively shot down more than 1,500 Iranian missiles and drones since Saturday morning. That is a lot. 1,500 missiles and drones. I mean, the most we ever heard being sent from Iran was 300 at a time. Remember that last year? That was... Even that was also crazy. But this time it's like 5 times that amount. 1,500 missiles and drones. Okay. Some complaints, I guess. So far, Trump is surprised by Iran's attacks on the Gulf. Khamenei's replacement will likely be more radical, which is not good. Protesters so far have rallied in support of the regime, which is not really talked about in many news outlets. We see a lot of support for, you know, the United States and having toppled the regime, or at least attempted to. But don't forget there are people that still do support the regime, and I've seen them. Hezbollah joined despite warnings not to. Yeah, come on now. The Gulf countries are reportedly running low on air defense munitions, likely Israel too. I mean, they had to whip out the laser air defense, which is impressive, but yeah. Iran seems unwilling to accept a ceasefire. Of course, they're in the middle of going hard. The leader who had a fatwa against building a nuclear weapon was killed. What is a fatwa? A ruling on a point of Islamic law given by a recognized authority. I still don't know what this means. It's a religious ruling. issued by an Islamic scholar. Okay, sure. I guess like a commandment for Christianity terms. The Strait of Hormuz is being closed. Yep, we know. Global energy prices are spiking. Was this a good idea? Well, regime bad, and they do have blood on their hands, especially for the brutal attack on the protesters. But the solution is not regime change. Hope Trump changes his mind for the sake of the Iranian people, the region, the Israelis, the Americans, and the world. I mean, we're already way too deep in it. We might as well go ahead and finish the job. There's no other way to get through it, is what I believe. And if we do just cancel everything, 6 US service members would have just died for nothing. We've got reports from CENTCOM, Center of Commerce. Is that what CENTCOM means? Central of Command, Center Commander. I literally, CENTCOM. Central Command, that's what it stands for. So apparently 6 US service members have been killed amid the ongoing conflict with Iran, they have announced. Alright. It started off with 0, and then it started off with a few, like 1, 2, and then maybe 3, and now it's up to 6. So the first US troops that were killed by Iran were operating from civilian port facility. CNN reports that the first US service members killed in the war with Iran were struck while operating out of a makeshift tactical operations center set up at the civilian port of Shuaiba in southern Kuwait. According to CNN source, the site was directly hit on Sunday morning. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth later confirmed that the projectile penetrated air defenses and struck what he described as a fortified tactical operations center. No good. This was the, I guess, the friendly fire airplane thing. A clip is going around showing a US plane dropping in Al Jahra and the pilot bailing out. Kuwait says a few US jets crashed, but everyone's okay. Iran's media is claiming that they hit one before it went down. Oh, so they're taking credit for it, I guess. Here's like the footage of the plane. It doesn't show the full thing though. Like there's more footage somewhere where it shows like the missile literally chasing the airplane. The airplane trying to drop flares to distract it, doing loop-de-loops, but it eventually just catches up to the plane and hits it. The pilot ejected last minute and he is alive and well. People from Kuwait started approaching him. They thought it was an Iranian, but he's like, no, guys, it's me, American. I'm friendly. And the people from Kuwait are like, oh, okay. They nearly violently attacked a downed US F-15E pilot who was shot down by Kuwaiti defenses by accident. Then they realized he was American and backed off. All pilots who were downed are confirmed safe. Crazy. Even friendly fire is going on in this. Nobody is safe, dude. Hebrew sources publish of the severe fire at the US Embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This has become an issue as well. A US embassy has also been under attack in Saudi Arabia, and Trump is not happy, to say the least. Fire reported after an Iranian strike in the embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Trump says, alright guys, you will soon find out what the retaliation will be for the attack on the US Embassy in Riyadh, and for the US service members that were killed as well, he told the News Nation, adding that he doesn't think that boots on the ground will be necessary. For a regime change, boots on the ground not necessary? I don't know if I truly believe that. We've had to do that with Iran and other countries, I guess. Yeah. We shall see. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it with just airstrikes, but okay. Guess who's back from the dead? Former President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad is still alive and has survived the assassination attempt. That is crazy work. So, well, I don't know. I guess he's back. And remember I talked about it yesterday. I was surprised that they actually got him, and the fact that he was going to go on Patrick Bet-David's podcast and canceled last minute due to safety concerns. They actually reached out to him again. He says former Iranian President Ahmadinejad's team reached out to us this morning to inform us that he is still alive. Stay tuned. Wow. That's why you can never celebrate too early. But okay. What else? Hey, if anything, at least we're starting to break records here. Trump has become the record holder for military strikes among recent US presidents. Despite campaigning as the anti-war candidate, literally, no new wars, that was the whole campaign, but whatever, Trump oversaw U.S. military operations in 7 countries. Iran, Nigeria, and Venezuela had never been previously targeted by U.S. forces, and now, under Trump, he is the president that's launched the most missiles ever in recent presidents, at least. Yeah, interesting. Trump went on a rant on Truth Social that we're going to go through because we love it. The radical left Democrats, a party that has completely lost its way, are complaining bitterly about the very necessary and important attack by the United States and Israel on Iran. So it's very important and very necessary. There you go. What most people understand is that they are only complaining because I did it. And if I didn't do it, they would be screaming, why didn't Trump attack Iran? He should do it immediately. There's nothing surprising about this. It's the same people that the other night at the State of the Union address wouldn't stand for anybody, including a mother who lost her beautiful daughter to an illegal alien, a great and brave helicopter pilot who got the Congressional Medal of Honor, or a 100-year-old veteran warrior whose bravery is legend. Whose bravery is legend. I guess that works. The fact is, whatever I do, they will be on the opposite side. These people are sick, crazy, demented, but America, despite them all, is now bigger, better, stronger than ever. All right. Sure. Insider trading, congressional stock trading, awesome. The last 2 months, Gil Cisneros, Democrat, and Markwayne Mullin, Republican, bought Raytheon stock. Of course, it's a defensive stock. They knew we were going to go to a war with Iran. Cisneros sits on the House Armed Services Committee, and Mullin sits on the Senate Committee on Armed Services. Since then, the U.S. military has started military action on Iran, and Raytheon hits another all-time high, RTX. Let's go. 221. How is Lockheed Martin doing? Let's go. Also all-time high, no big deal. 713. We've dropped since then to 678. I did look at buying Lockheed Martin around 400 something. It was around over here, I think. No, this was 2023. 2025? Yeah, probably would have been around here. Because I remember after, like... I don't know. After some point, I realized, like, yeah, it probably is the time to buy defensive stocks if we do continue going to war. But then I'm like, we're not going to go to war again, right? Wrong. President of no new wars went to a new war. This is funny. Claude went down. Anthropic servers down. For what? We were talking about Anthropic all the time. And now apparently their servers are down. Trump is like, hey, let us use your technology for military purposes. They said no. They said, are you sure? You have until Friday. They said no. On Friday, we're like, okay, you guys are woke and terrible anyway. Saturday, we use them anyway to attack Iran. And then now, Monday, their servers are suspiciously, suddenly shut down. I think they're back by now. Surely they're back, right? Claude. People are also criticizing the name. It sucks. Claude has been down for hours. Claude was used by the US on the Iran strikes. Iranian missiles hit an AWS data center. Anthropic runs Claude on AWS, and Claude has been down for hours. Uh-oh. Is that true? Did they actually hit an AWS center? That's crazy. Yeah. Okay, well, that's Claude for you. Bitcoin doing its thing in the middle of this war. We just ripped past 69,000. We hit 70,000 while global markets are bleeding. Bitcoin gained 3.6% in the past 24 hours, pushing its market cap to 1.38 trillion. Not enough trillions. Traditional risk-off playbooks say Bitcoin should be dumping right now, which is true, because oil is spiking toward $80 per barrel on supply fears. Japan's Nikkei dropped over 2%. US futures were sliding, yet Bitcoin climbed anyway. We're looking at 70,000 as the breakout level. Clean close above that signals continuation. That's what we always say. Well, the drop below 64,000 would signal a fake out. I'd say drop below 62,000. That's when you can just cancel everything and go lower. If Bitcoin can maintain this divergence from risk assets during sustained geopolitical stress, then the digital gold argument finds itself a new tailwind. Good, finally, it is about time. I'm tired of it just being gold being the asset that is the only thing that's the reserve asset, the safe haven. If Bitcoin is the digital gold, why is that also not rising and during times of uncertainty? No, it's the first thing that gets dumped. Wall Street, it just goes to show where people's opinions of Bitcoin lie on when it comes to crucial times. Would you rather hold paper gold or magic internet money? I don't know. So let's see what happens in the next 48 to 72 hours. Either Bitcoin proves itself and can decouple during crisis conditions, or it will rejoin the risk-off sell-off. I hope it doesn't, because I still think, technically speaking, due to technical analysis, we should start. Seems a good move. Some rises, 70,000 something. So far, Monday has been proven to be a great day so far. Nice. Bitcoin just made history as well. How many months? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red months. And we're still in the red even now. That's crazy. No, I think this post is, well, it's a bit early. It's pre-pump, that's why. For the first time ever, Bitcoin has closed both January and February in red. That is also true. We've never seen 2 consecutive red months at the beginning of the year ever. And this time we've made history. It's a lot of stuff that, yeah, this, by the way, there are many first time ever patterns in this chart. Well, I would say in Bitcoin's price action for this past cycle, really, there has been a first time ever. First time ever hitting an all-time high before halving event. First time ever making a new cycle breaking low. First time we don't top on whatever the sentiment is, euphoria or apathy. We topped in apathy or something, whatever. Yeah, first time we ever broke below that, the 66,000 point that I was predicting would be a bottom for a bear market. We actually hit way lower than that. First time we ever broke 100K. I don't know, what else is the first time for Bitcoin? First time we have a pro-crypto administration. First time we have a Bitcoin strategic reserve that adds 0 Bitcoin. Yeah, unless we seize it, of course. Can we just seize all the Bitcoin from MicroStrategy? These guys are not doing a good job. They bought 3,000 Bitcoins at an average price of 67,700. How did you do that? When Bitcoin was at 63,000? They love buying tops throughout the week. I don't know how. But okay. $200 million buy. That's okay, I guess. Nothing too crazy. Bitmine, on the other hand, for Ethereum, Tom Lee purchased 50,928 Ethereums, a total of $98.6 million last week, lifting the total holdings to 4.47 million Ethereum, which is worth $8.8 billion. 98 million purchase. Sure, not too bad. Has he been buying what Vitalik has been selling? Yeah, probably. So it kind of checks out. But it does suck to see, of course, the founder is selling Ethereum, even still. But Tom Lee has been buying it all up. Decent. Sane Takaishi posted this. She says, la 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 la. I'm kidding. I'm going to translate this. Talking about crypto. I've heard that a cryptocurrency called the Sanae token, this is the Japanese prime minister, by the way. A Sanae token has been issued, and it's been trading to some extent. Come on, let the kids have some fun. I'm sure this is just a meme coin. Due to the name, it seems that there are various misunderstandings, but regarding this token, I have absolutely no knowledge of it, nor has my office been informed about what this token entails. We have not given any approval whatsoever in this matter. I am making this statement to ensure that the public does not labor under any misapprehensions. I mean, good for clarifying, I guess, but come on, that's cringe. Why don't you release a meme coin like Trump did? It will totally gain the trust of the crypto bros, of course. Totally not a rug pull, totally not a scam, totally legit, 100%. You should buy right here, right now. Put your whole life savings on this coin. It's so good. Look at that price action. I've not even looked at this coin, honestly. Sanae token. What do I find it as? Sanae USDT. Sand. Safe. No, I don't think I'm going to find it here. Where is this released? Can I get a comment that is not in Japanese, please? Okay, I'm just going to grok this. What's the ticker and where is the token launched? Because I'm buying it. I'm actually not buying it. It's a meme derivative coin. Classic celebrity name pump with no real connection. The ticker is Sanae. And it exists one tied to the hype and subsequent dump after her denial. Oh, that sucks. It's already taken effect on the charts. It was launched on Solana. So it's on Pump Fund. Alright, let's open the Pump Fund, the forbidden app. I am 18 years, thank you. Sanae. Wait, is it even trending? I don't see it here. I think I have my NSFW filter on, I hope so. Is it this one? This is the biggest market cap, I'm assuming it is. This happened 2nd of March. I'm sure it is this. No, not really. This literally came out today. I think this came out after this tweet. March 2nd at 7 a.m. March 2nd at 12 o'clock. That's not it. Oh, now I gotta look it up again. Sanae. Sanae. 13 hours ago, 15 hours ago, 2 months ago. Oh, maybe it's this. 5 months ago. Takaichi. It's not the ticker, though. It might be this one. It is not this one. That was an immediate rug pull. Well, that's what you get for trading meme coins, I guess. I cannot find another one. These ones are just grifting off of recent posts, trying to gather as much attention as possible because the literal president of Japan talked about it. I'm assuming it's this one. I don't know. What is this stream? A 52-second stream. Weird. It did rise a decent bit, but no millions were hit. That sucks. And that's already been rug pulled at this point. Trash coin, don't buy. Moving on. Thanks, Sanae Takaichi. Mark Carney, our wonderful prime minister that I totally voted for, says that we will deepen our ties with India and praises Indian international students in Canada. We are launching the Canada-India Talent and Innovation Strategy with Canadian universities. It's an endless cycle. It will never end. Carney says that Canada and India are one family. My reaction to that information? Yeah. I don't know, dude. Not a fan. But whatever. Hey, at least this is going on in the British Columbia. They're the pioneers of this, the daylight savings time issue. I'm happy for them for doing this. Look at this. British Columbia, the province in Canada, will spring forward for good. Spring forward meaning the time zone, the daylight savings. The premier of the province, Dave Eby, says that Sunday's clock change, this Sunday, it will be the province's last time as it shifts to permanent daylight saving time, fulfilling a promise he first made in 2019. And I remember that vaguely. I remember him talking about that. Promises made, promises kept. Let's go. So, I mean, we do need this in the rest of the country, though, and maybe the rest of the world, because daylight savings kind of sucks. So, yeah. Literally the only W from him. Yeah. And we're having a blood moon today, March 3rd. Well, tonight. Tomorrow, I guess. March 3rd at 3:33 a.m. A bunch of threes. Probably nothing. Probably nothing. I googled this. No, I didn't Google it. I searched it. Oh my gosh, my phone was not charging. Okay. Search it up on ChatGPT here. I asked it, hey, when can I see the blood moon in Toronto? They said, yes, it will be visible from Toronto, but I think it's more visible in like the west side of the countries of the Americas. So if you're in West USA, you've got the best view, probably. I'm still gonna try to see it. I'm gonna have to wake up like middle of the night. So the penumbral eclipse begins at 3:44 a.m. Eastern Time. The moon's entire Earth's... What? The moon enters Earth's outer shadow. It's hard to notice. So it's still gonna look like a regular moon. Partial eclipse is gonna be around 4:50 a.m. And the total eclipse starts at 6 a.m. Hey, maybe I think I'll wake up at 6 a.m. then. Right? Do I want to wake up at 6 a.m.? I'm going to film it with my drone. So we'll see how that goes. Maximum totality will be at 6:33 a.m. I feel like it's going to be too bright at that time. But even if it does get bright, also, how does that work? If the sun is coming out, isn't it that the order of the planets is sun, Earth, and then the moon? That's why it turns red, because the Earth's shadow covers the moon. I really don't think we will be able to see it. From Toronto, it says the moon will be very low in the sky near the sunrise by the time totality happens, so you'll need a clear western horizon, no tall buildings or trees blocking your view. I'll be in a drone. It'll be fine. I'll be 500 meters in the air. So I think I will still be able to see it. The eclipse will end officially at 7 a.m., and by that time I'll just, go about my normal morning routine. I think that's good enough, yeah. From 6 a.m. to 6:33 a.m., the total eclipse to maximum totality. The most dramatic red color will be at 6:33 a.m. And then after that it leaves. Okay. I really hope it's, like, not too bright where, like, the moon... How does that work? Are we sure? I'm gonna have to, like, double check or confirm this later. But I will be doing my best to get drone footage of it. That's my highlight for tonight or tomorrow morning, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that is cool. I love lunar eclipses. Apocalyptic times. Coincidentally, we are in a war with Iran in the Middle East. I love it. Okay, that is all for tonight. Hey, does the moon... Isn't there this thing that they talk about, like the moon phases impact crypto's price? Something like that? Moon phases impacting Bitcoin price. Bitcoin moon cycle strategy. Empirical studies and trader anecdotes suggest a correlation between lunar cycles and Bitcoin prices. Full moons often act as markers for price peaks, and new moons for potential troughs. That's cope. I think that's just cope, honestly. I don't believe in astrology or zodiac signs or Taurus, Capricorn, Cancer, Sagittarius. Don't believe in none of that stuff. It's literally just a star in the sky. Who cares? Right? Anyway. Strategies buying on new moons and selling on full moons have at times outperformed passive strategies, with some data suggesting a 68% likelihood of price increases around full moons. That's a pretty good probability. And blood moon, oh, literally what we were talking about. Some analysts have noted that a blood moon cycle appears once every few years. It has aligned with significant long-term bottoms for Bitcoin. Wow. How fitting. How fitting. Long-term bottoms for Bitcoin. Is that it? Is, like, that's it? Bottom is confirmed? Confirmed by this blood moon. I honestly did not even plan this at all. This is news to me. Wow. But there is no direct causal or scientific mechanism that has been proven for this correlation. It's just a speculative sentiment-based tool rather than a robust technical indicator. Hey, maybe sometimes that's what we need, though. A sentiment-based indicator. Because if I see this correlation, other people will see it. You guys are watching this. You'll all kind of feel that Yeah, remember the blood moon? That typically means it's a bottom. That means I'm gonna buy, and it'll maybe convince more people to buy. Not everyone, of course, and obviously it's, as it says here, it's no confirmation or proof that it's actually legit, but it's a good sentiment indicator. Especially the fact that we are in the fear and greed index, still at extreme fear. It's kind of rising a little bit. The little peak about 70,000 over here kind of made us move from extreme fear to fear. I accept that with open arms. That's totally fine. I do also wonder, is there anything moving incredibly today before I actually end stream? How am I not logged in? Cancer. Okay, I don't know what that is. Near Protocol is mooning today. Nothing really oversold. Bananas. Trash meme coin. Near. What is going on with Near Protocol? Seems abnormal for it to be making a move like this. 17% up today. Launches confidential intents for DeFi privacy. Oh, the privacy narrative in DeFi. Short squeeze, bullish social sentiment, and AI narrative. That's also true. We are talking a lot about AI. Yeah. Really no big reason, but derivatives position volume spike after a short squeeze. Sure, I guess. Technical breakouts then. Strong social sentiment around Near's AI narrative. And independent alpha move versus Bitcoin. Sure. You know what? Knock yourself out. Enjoy the gains. From what? 98 cents to $1.30? Nice. And Hyperliquid also just slightly doing okay, as we've seen. Yeah, that's about it then. Okay, time to end stream. Lovely. Yeah, I'll be watching that full moon. I will not be streaming tomorrow. I will be busy, so I'll be back on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we have nothing to talk about. Maybe some more war stuff, but there's always going to be stuff to talk about. Here's the ISM manufacturing data, by the way. I had no idea how to read this, but apparently it was kind of bullish. Wednesday, ISM services. I don't know if that's literally related or what. ADP numbers, I guess, will give us a bit of a spoiler before we get non-farm payroll data on Friday. Friday is going to be the bigger day when it comes to economic data, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Okay. That's all. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that good stuff.